Welcome to Fanboyz. I'm Johnny E. I'm here with my boy Cotter, co-hosting this episode. And we're going to get right into it. Topic of the day, Masters of the Universe, the theatrical version. What did you think? Because my opinion is not positive at all. Please share.
This is usually the case where when I say something to someone and I say, you want the good news or the bad news, which one you want to pick first?
Well, I'm going to give you the bad news. So you give me.
I'm dying to hear it. So that's like you, because I want to go first, but I'm so because I can see it in your face. You're like,
I wanted to like it. I really did. And there are great things about it.
mm-hmm.
Like I did like the introduction when they were in Eternia,
mm-hmm.
the invasion, they sent the boy to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I got that. That's cool. A little cliche, but it worked.
Right.
You can see where the money's spent. The special effects are good. Say what you want about this dude, but Skeletor looked really good. The voice was pretty good.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jared Leto. I just think he does crap. He gets into crap projects. But as an actor, I think he's all right. Now, I could be crucified for that for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't care. The point is, the movie fell off immediately when he was on this little blind date where he's talking to this chick, and he's telling her, and he's already established himself that he's on Earth. He may not go back home. So he's on a date. And he tells her about this fantasy world that he's from.
They all thought he's crazy.
I mean, you didn't have any forethought to think that if you're trying to get, laid, you think that's going to work? Nah, I don't think so, bro. Or the situation where he's looking for the sword online, and then this dude tells him, I found your sword. And, and then he goes to a comic shop, doesn't even find the guy. He's just like,
is right there,
it's like right there. He's talking and like, are you the guy? Are you the guy? Like, where's this cloak and dagger stuff? You're supposed to be a mystery in.
It was like plot magic. Sword is right
Sword is right there, and then he's trying to grab it, and he can't. Like, there's so many corny things in there.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do well with Cringer, Battle Cat. Like you only see him at the end.
The reveal was at the end.
Yeah. Like, and then Cringer wasn't kind of Cringer was always known to be like the scary, like a scaredy cat.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just kind of like a smart ass. And then the characters
made for modern era,
I guess. And then all right, I like the idea that as a kid he nicknamed all these soldiers by fist though because he had a big fist and whatever. But then you never really catch. Yeah. Like how many jokes can you make on that?
I couldn't resist. But I had to throw it in there.
So you got all of that. You never get a real idea that they're real soldiers because you never get their real names or their titles.
Right.
So I'm just like, oh, his connection with his father was corny, like cheesy. I don't know.
Now, let me just throw a couple of curveballs in there because
be my guest.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I know you. I can feel it. With the some of the goofy stuff, right, and some of the jokey stuff that was added in there. And I don't always agree with this. And even in this case, I'm 50-50 on agreeing with it. Do you think that was the typical case of we have to make it fit for the modern day audience? We have to make him look this way versus the 80s way that we would have gotten the same character, our Conans, our He-Mans, the other thing with him naming the characters, right? Do you think that was also like the director's way of playing into the kid nostalgia, like a kid, like us in the sandbox or the toy box, with our you know what I mean? It was almost like a metaphor of us playing with our toys,
right?
Like him naming them,
yeah.
Not necessarily like a fourth wall break. There's a term for that, where it was just like, hey. We know this is on your toys, and hey, even though these are his soldiers, this is a boy playing with his toys. Wink, wink.
Yeah. I was okay with that. If you're subtle about it, there was nothing subtle about anything they did in the movie.
You right back up.
It was like, let me take this.
I knew I was going to charge you right back up
because it's true.
I can see it in your face while I'm explaining, and you just like.
I've seen the original Masters of the Universe recently as an adult.
The Dolph Lundgren?
No. I meant the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
which this is the base is off. And I've also seen the Dolph Lundgren one.
Yeah.
And they're both corny, which is fine.
Yeah.
At 4 years old, it was great. The memory is great. But that just because the memory is great doesn't mean you translate the exact memory. It's not going to work 40 years later.
Right.
And your fan base is in their 40s and 50s.
True.
You got to do a little better.
Yeah.
And I know you want to introduce kids to it, but by introducing the kids, that's where Oracle comes in. That's where Cringer comes in. That's where these characters with these fun names. Yeah. Oh, actually, Oracle came in a cameo at the end. After credit scene.
Yeah, but
and the same thing with She-Ra, which is fine.
But all right, I did the She-Ra thing was all right. It was pretty cool. But see, with those things, which kind of piss some people off, that is all relying on box office green light for sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Because
which there won't be a sequel.
Well, I'm hearing now that they're going to go forward.
I guess Amazon has way too much money to spend because if you're basing it on the success of this movie bombed horribly.
But here's the thing, and I was just reading this last week, either last week or the week before, that because I was surprised because all in all, I wanted it to do well enough to get a sequel because I'm like, maybe they'll learn from these mistakes. They had good elements in there to make something good, right? It wasn't as terrible as the other adaptations that we'd have had to suffer through. Would you say better or less than? Look at.
I mean, if you give it
your face is priceless right now.
All right. So if you're comparing it to the Dolph Lundgren one, which they had a $20 budget for,
oh my god,
sure, this movie's way better. But by that standard, like the only thing that was wrong with the Dolph Lundgren one was that they were too much on Earth, not in Eternia. And then they replaced Oracle with the troll-looking character. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
And he was okay at the. I mean, they did a good thing by bringing all those characters that were sideline characters.
Yeah.
You saw cameos of them in the movie.
Yeah.
And in the more recent cartoons, Revelations, and so on and so forth.
I didn't see all the Revelations.
Right, but like they managed to make this one universe with all of it, and I like that. Hell, even Dolph Lundgren made a cameo. He kind of passed the torch.
Yeah.
Love that.
You don't think that shows like at least you got a decent direction?
A direction? Sure. I don't know about decent. I mean, they had a great, decent director.
Mm.
And then what happened? Because he did Bumblebee, he did Kobo and the Two Strings. This isn't those two movies. Not even close.
Yeah. So
is that studio interference, or is he just showing his true colors?
I think studio interference.
Okay.
I think studio interference because most of the complaints across the board, especially from like the diehards, are us guys that came from that generation of the toys and the original properties. Most of those complaints is the modern day or the jokey stuff or like certain things tropes that Hollywood has been known to do in the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing all the complaints are the same, but I'm paralleling it to Hollywood because it's all the shit we've been complaining about that they've been interfering with. So that's why I attribute it to studio interference. Like, whereas with Bumblebee, they didn't have faith in the movie anyway, so they gave him more like, hey, take the yellow car and go do what you want to do. Michael Bay's got all this other good stuff that the robots we can't make out what they look like. Yeah, you go do that, But look at what we got with Bumblebee. We got what we wanted.
Right.
Us guys, we like, oh, hell yeah, G1 all day, right? Michael Bay, pay attention,
Take some fucking notes.
Take some fucking notes. But see, that's what happens with studios and interference versus non-interference, because when they're movie properties that they don't give a shit about or have no faith in, they give the director more creative control and say, hey, go.
Yeah, I get that.
With this, there was a lot of money and things riding on the back of He-Man leading up to it, that this was going to be one of those, they were comparing it to Barbie. yo, you're killing me. You're killing me. But this was the expectations, because as a toy property, right, they had all this riding like, this is going to be so great. It's going to be just like what Barbenheimer did. And, you know, and then it's going to bring up the sales and it's going to bring back the whole thing. And that's what the expectations was,
Okay.
you know.
But it's a bad comparison. You want to know why?
Uh,
Barbie's still relevant.
yeah.
Girls still buy Barbies.
Yeah.
And then let's say maybe I'm off and they haven't been buying them in the last few years. Few years compared to He-Man from 40 years ago when it was the top selling toy in the world. At some point, I believe it made between $400 and $500 million in the late 80s.
Yeah.
That's like $1 trillion today.
Today, yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
like they were the standard of what was merchandise selling for an anime, you know, for a cartoon, which was barely, you know, was barely a cartoon. It was cut and pasted together.
Yeah.
But it was popular. The toys sold like crazy. So the question is, you have a property that's way too old. The fan base is way too old, or don't care.
And even the modern audience that they're going after.
Don't
because
care.
You brought up something very important. And for me being a toy guy, right, I'm always in the field checking the tone temperature of the toys and what's selling, what's not moving. And on that one, you're absolutely right, because all of the movie toy characters are still on shelves in droves. They are probably going to be the next waves that's going to the discount stores.
Yeah, Five Below.
Shit, damn! I was trying to throw him alley oop and say like Ross or Ollie's. You went
Five
Below. Straight to Five Below.
Five Below. That's why I pick them all up.
Yeah, so
I'm like, oh, this is crap. Cool, $5. I'll take it.
They might end up there because every time I check, there's still tons of them on the shelves.
Yeah.
Now here's the crazy thing. They and this way you're right. They know what they're doing and they know what the people want, because in that new toy line, right, in between the movie characters, they threw a couple of nostalgia figures.
Yeah, those sell.
Those are all sold. Those are all sold out. Like, so like they would have modern He-Man, right? Modern Man-at-Arms from the movie, modern Teela, right? And then retro character thrown in with the movie line.
Yeah.
Every time I go on a toy hunt, all the retro movie line characters gone.
Yeah.
All the movie characters packed on the shelves.
Even the all right. So the movie figurines will be there, but even the weird Master of the Year's combination ones where they did with Master of the Year's and Ninja Turtles, Master of the Year's
Transformers,
the Transformers, Master of the Year's Ninja Turtles. Those sold.
Yeah.
Those are crap figures.
Yeah.
I would never buy that.
God awful.
But yet they sold.
Yeah. God awful.
And don't get me wrong, they're not selling like how they did it in the 80s and the 90s. But you know, and then you sit there and you're wondering, just like, okay, fine. You got an aging fan base for a property that's pretty outdated that no one cares about. They've tried to revitalize it in animation a few times. It's got some, you know, there's some attention towards it, but not a lot. You know, what happened to all those kids that bought those figurines? Like, where are they now? Like, I mean, we're looking at each other right now.
Yeah, it's us.
I ran to the theaters. Where were the rest of them? And then the funny thing is, it did get a good rating from the few people that saw it.
Yeah.
Not for me, though. But, you know, because I was like, no, this is crap. But I don't know. It's just, I feel like they dropped the ball. And then here's the deal. Here's another thing that comes to mind. You spend $250 million on Master of the Universe, and then you give all these studio notes, and then you kind of like, you hinder the art that's coming from the director, right? But then you swear you have a budget, you know, you have this you could bankroll this movie, and if it flops, it's okay. We'll bankroll part 2. If that was the case, why not just leave the director do his thing?
Let him
cook.
That's what we would do.
If you don't care, you know, like if money wasn't the issue, leave him alone. Let him do his thing. Now you cut yourself up, cut both legs off. You hinder the talent of an artist. You lose a couple $100 million. It's fine. We'll put it on streaming. We'll make it up later on.
Watch this one, y'all. Because this one's really gonna piss them off. Watch.
We have some water.
Yeah, take a sip, because just like we got them worked up, boys.
We should have got the nips.
we should
have got the nips.
On the next one, we're gonna have the nips. Might have to do double shots on the nips, man. So from what I was reading, right, with them talking about moving forward with the sequel, right, and practically almost like 85% confirming sequels coming, right, moving forward. Here's what's going to piss you off. The studio heads at Amazon said that we feel confident because we felt the movie was successful. And with that confidence of this is not verbatim, but this is close to what on your face. I'm trying. I gotta look over here to get this out. With they said with the box office draw and our confidence in the property moving forward and the success of the movie, that we feel that a studio is appropriate, and that's why I'm thinking it's full steam ahead with the studio with the sequel. Now I don't know where the She-Ra teaser is gonna come in. I know they got to put Orko and Battle Cat. They got to because you already did the reveals at the end, and people were already kind of rubbed the wrong way that those two wasn't more impactful in the movie.
Yeah, that's true. They should have been more involved in the movie.
But how do you feel about the studio saying, well, the studio's confidence in the box office returns and overall success of the movie warranting a sequel now because it was so successful?
I think it's just them bullshitting, us, like, hey, it was great. It's exactly what we expected. Yeah, you're just trying to cover your ass.
You think?
That's what the studio's doing.
Yeah.
They all do it. They all do it. And more so them.
And they said successful.
Oh, sure. Yeah, whatever. Maybe if they add in all the numbers from the streaming, and then maybe it might be considered a success.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, anytime they put anything on streaming, it seems to do better. Hell, even Morbius did better on streaming.
Yeah, Morbius just did better than someone else too.
Right. Supergirl. Let's not get into that yet. That's a whole nother complaint episode right on there. Can't do that.
So I guess compared to some other things, He-Man would be a success.
I mean, if you want to compare it to a turd, sure, but it's great. It's a fuck. It's trash. It's trash. It's a failure.
You know what? I wish I had the studio exec's name that said this, because it was one of the people that's overseeing the whole project.
Yeah.
Because they've been continuously saying, like, hey, will there be a sequel? Because, all right, the first wave was, if it would be a sequel, it would be directly to Amazon. It won't be another theatrical release.
Smart. Because then they can hide those numbers.
True.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
It was successful. 1 billion people saw it. There's 1 billion minutes played.
Oh my God. True. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. But then,
they should have done it from the beginning.
With their confidence, it's looking like it might be a theatrical release. And do you think, and I'll land my plane on this, do you think if they do another release, right, and a theatrical release, maybe even not a She-Ra spinoff, but introduce her proper in the sequel, do you think that they would get it right on the sequel? Like, you think they would learn from what you feel are the mistakes?
As confident as they are? No. Yeah, so sure they did a great film.
So they're like, all these bad elements, yeah, let's keep that.
Yeah.
This was great.
Yeah, the sequence at the end, where all the characters are lining up, and they're just doing that cartoon laugh.
Yeah, that could be the whole movie.
That's the studio. They can do that for the whole movie, and the studio execs will be there. Confidence, success.
That's the execs. That was the execs after the box office numbers.
Yeah,
that was them. All right. So
yeah.
I guess,
while we watched He-Man run off to go change, even though everyone there knew he was He-Man.
That was good.
Just like we all knew
that was good.
That movie was gonna bomb.
Yeah, that was a goofy move. And in a way, shit like that is what annoys me, because it's almost like, is it funny or is it insulting trying to shit on the old fans of the character? Like with that, like is he really that stupid?
He seems that way in the movie.
Like, is he really like? I mean, even the Dolph Lundgren one, he was a oaf, but he wasn't stupid.
No, he's not stupid in any variation except for this movie. He's really dumb in this movie. Why?
Yeah, because He-Man has never been dumb.
No.
He's the most powerful man in the universe. It came with smarts.
I mean, he ain't no scholar, but he's just not. This dude was a Ditz.
I can't. Yeah.
Come on. He was a ditz. He was horrible.
Wow. Wow.
He had a roommate, and his roommate was like, "You didn't tell her about you coming from Fantasia and shit." Yeah, I did. Like, come on. Like, even his roommate, the character in the movie of his roommate was us.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't see the...
It was us talking to the studio.
Yeah, it's just like, come on.
Okay.
It's dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Like, the only sequence... All right, what about the sequence where, you know, Beast comes down and attacks, which is a great sequence where he's trying to find him and he's attacking him and all that stuff. Teal comes to save him, which is cool. They go to the ship, and he decides to take a moment and stop and tell the people randomly in the street who know nothing about what's going on, don't know him, see, I told you I was from there. And these people are like, what? Yeah, we just saw a monster just come through our streets and destroy the shit, and there's a spacecraft in front of us.
It's like, dude,
we don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, we don't even know who you are. I understand if if it was in that same scene, right? But his roommate might have been in one of the cars.
Right. Or the girl he supposedly went on that date with.
Went on the date with.
Neither one of them
was
were
in
there.
car 5 over there.
Right.
That would have made more sense. But just random people that don't even know you. That was the studio. Like, hey, you know what'd be hilarious? Oh my God. You know what you said, the laughing meme? You know what'd be hilarious? That.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's the fuck off part of with them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We agree on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that being said, you should check out Massive Universe when it drops on streaming.
The laughing meme.